Hi everyone, I'm Sunny and welcome back to my channel. If you're not new, I have 3 piles for you guys to choose from left to right. I have pile 1, pile 2, and pile number 3. So stop the video if you feel like you need more time. Otherwise, skip to the timestamp in the description and I'll see you there. So in case you didn't see the question or you just kind of glimpsed, although I'm pretty sure you saw it because it's kind of short title, it's a spring prediction. So I'm gonna leave it general. So I will start with the first one in case you wanted to figure out if I was gonna go more specific. I'm going to let the cards kind of guide me. So pile 1, you guys have the 6 of Cups reversed. Your next card is the Ace of Cups reversed. 2 of Swords reversed. Interesting. The Tower card reversed. And the Knight of Wands upright. Hey, finally an upright. Having reversals is not negative. I'm just fascinated. I'm like, I haven't had so many reversals in a while. I'm like so fickle. I'm trying to like center them. I'm sorry, pile 1. I'll start your reading already. So pile 1, your spring prediction. It feels like you're someone that's gonna kind of really focus on that internal space, and that's not negative. That's actually a good thing. I think sometimes you kind of have to withdraw from people, or you maybe kind of isolate or distance yourself because you kind of want to self-care. That's what it feels like. There's a lot of self-care, a lot of changes inside. So it feels like, 1, you're maturing. You're maturing your emotional space with these cups on the left side, sorry. So it feels like you're healing that inner child. You're someone that's working on self-care, working on their emotions, kind of unraveling that, not puzzle, but it feels like your emotions have been jumbled for a while. And it feels like you're someone who has had to kind of keep adding and adding and adding, and you never had the time to actually take out that string and finally unravel that yarn of emotions because you haven't had the time, you haven't had the space or the proper allotted time, because you haven't really been focusing on that maybe. Or you've been putting that aside, putting that at a distance, putting that in the back of your mind, right, for example. But there's many instances as to why that can happen. So you're finally maturing, showing some responsibility, acknowledging that it's not that great to kind of hold stuff within, kind of really figuring out what you really want, what you desire, what's making you tick, what's making you feel alive, what's making you feel uncomfortable or just muddied. And it feels like you're someone that's finally going to make sense of all these emotions. With the 2 of Swords reversed as well, you're someone that's finally gonna take charge. It feels like you're someone that's finally taking into accountability and taking charge of their actions, and that mental space is changing as well. It feels like you're actually taking those swords and kind of unraveling those cups. It feels like, oh, like, look, feeding that soul. Finally, that Tower card reverse, it's the same. It's like you're someone that's bringing a lot of internal changes to yourself. Maybe the outside people will not see as much change, but you can. There's a sense of change inside of you, and you know it when that spring comes around. Something you're working up to then, or working from then, or something you start noticing at that time. So it feels like you're someone that's actually kind of noticing these changes, kind of taking account inside of you. And maybe you're also working on, I feel also you could also be working on your mental space. And your mental health is it's very much correlated for you guys, specifically with your emotions. Maybe you've been unhappy, you've been feeling depressed, or something eating at you that you're finally like looking at the root cause. It feels like you're finally going deep within, and you're finally figuring out with your swords, like, well, I need to cut this out. This is just jargon. This isn't needed. I don't need this in my life. Like, I could go without it. I am a better person anyway without this. So you're finally taking accountability. You're taking charge with the Knight of Wands upright as well. You're someone that's moving forward. So that's the prediction I have for you. Pile number 1. I wanted to say pile number 5. You're finally taking accountability about your emotions, about your internal changes, your different views. Your mental health is improving because you're actually taking action. That's what it feels like. You're finally moving forward onto a different phase of life that you can deal with much productively and much differently than what you've been dealing with in the last months or years. That's what it feels like. And you're finally feeling like a release. I think you're releasing something finally also. and you're finally feeling that weight off your shoulders, like, oh, this was eating at me, and it was just not making me feel good about myself. I can finally have some self-care. I can finally put that nurturing into myself and really be in touch with my inner child, So that's what I have for you, pal one. That's a very sweet prediction I have for you. I would actually like to have this. I don't know if I'll choose this. I'll see. I never actually read for myself, but I never actually thought about choosing one. But for some reason, I was like, I think I should choose one. But anyways, pile number 2, you guys have the Ace of Pentacles upright. The 7 of Pentacles reversed. Temperance upright. I'm sorry for the breathing. Allergies. Breathing is not comfortable, so. Ace of Swords reversed. And the 3 of Wands reversed. I'm hoping I didn't kind of go up. Sometimes I notice the direction of the cards. I'm like, oh God. Anyways, pile number 2. The spring prediction I have for you is that you're someone that's gonna get a hold of an opportunity. It's like a golden opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles upright. So you're gonna have an opportunity to balance the scales. So with the Temperance card, it does feel like you're balancing something in your life finally. With this opportunity, maybe it's a job, a career, maybe a potential partner, a connection, a friendship, family issues. It just feels like you're finally evening out the scales. You're finding moderation, or maybe balancing all aspects of life. With the sorry, I didn't want to sneeze. With the 7 of Pentacles upright, reversed, sorry. Why did I say upright? With the 7 of Pentacles reversed, it feels like you're finally seeing the changes, and they're fast coming changes. You're no longer having to wait for these, they're not drastic changes, but it feels like you've worked a lot, and you're kind of waiting, and you're being patient, and it was like it wasn't feeding yourself right. It was like, is it now? Is it now? Is it now? Like, it feels like you're waiting for your crops to finally take hold, right? Like this man, to take fruition. And finally, you moderate yourself. You kind of don't have to be, not that you don't have to be as patient, but you're no longer having to exercise that patience. It feels like these changes are coming. They're likely monetary changes as well, because there's a pentacle and there's 7 of Pentacles. And it's reversed and it's an upright, but it still feels like you're someone that's coming into maybe a financial opportunity, a different opportunity, and maybe, with the age, why do I want to say the age? With the Ace of Swords reversed, it feels like maybe you kind of need just a little bit more spark to kind of feel that out, but you're kind of going, for me, it feels like you're someone that's trying to really, get that motivation and drive to be like, hey, take this out, don't let it pass, please don't let it pass, because it feels like this opportunity is coming into your lap. Pile number 2. And with the 3 of Wands, it feels like, it feels like you're no longer having to kind of wait out the prospect of maybe a different life or a different, what ifs. It feels like you're no longer in the what if. So if this opportunity comes into your lap, don't miss it out. Pile number 2, because it feels like it's a financial opportunity. You're finally balancing the life scales, right? It feels like you're finally putting that balance into your life. It feels like you're finally not having to work that hard if you take this opportunity on, right? So it feels like you're trying to find that little bit of drive within, or it feels like you're kind of trying to hold, push that, just push yourself just a little bit tiny, just a little dash more with this Ace of Swords reversed, so that you can finally get that opportunity. It feels like you're someone that's no longer going to work, things are not going to work against you, pile number 2, and you're finally, it feels like maybe you're leaving an unfavorable situation that was taking maybe your money, or you're investing in something a lot that you weren't receiving anything. It was like, if it was a love connection, for example, I don't feel it's for many, because I still feel it's a financial opportunity. But if you invested yourself in something financially and you put your heart and soul in it, it's understandable why your heart would be stuck on this. If it didn't work, it's not gonna work. So allow yourself to kind of move on to greener pastures, because there is an opportunity coming in. You just have to let yourself go with the flow of your gut instinct, of your emotions. Feel that motivation kind of start up, but you kind of have to start it up just a little bit, even just a little bit, because it'll work. You're gonna feel a big difference in the shift of how much work you're putting into your life, that you're no longer gonna have to fight it. It just feels like you're someone that's finding that balance of like, oh, I just had to switch things just a tiny bit and it finally worked out. But yeah, with the Three of Wands, I'm sorry, reversed. It feels like you're finally moving on from like a vast sea of nothingness. It's like you weren't getting anything back, and finally you're just switching like your head a little bit, maybe, or your gears a little bit. It's like, oh, there's more like land. Oh, there's trees. Oh, there's like water. It feels like you're finally finding that fertile soil or that creativity that kind of sparks and kind of makes money, right? So that's what I have for you, pile number 2. There is an opportunity coming that's financially rewarding for you. You just kind of have to take notice of it. So it'll definitely help you balance yourself a little bit more. So last but not least, I have pile number 3. You have 9 of Pentacles reversed, 8 of Cups upright. I'm sorry. 8 of Cups upright. Queen of Pentacles reversed. The Moon reversed. And your last card is is it 7? Yeah, it's 7 of Wands upright. Sorry, sometimes I can't see. So, pile number 3. Let me just drink some water before I continue. Pile number 3, your spring prediction. Well, your spring prediction, first off, I'm not getting the message right away, so give me a second, because I'll be honest. I felt that messages were easier for the first 2, but this one's kind of muddy. And I wonder if it's because I keep looking at the moon. Oh, I hope I got something. Okay, right away. It feels like maybe you weren't really happy with how you were not spending your money, but maybe you weren't feeling like you could have some leisurely time to, how can I say it? Not leisurely time, but you weren't really feeling like your expenses were fulfilling for you when it comes to focusing on yourself, for example. It feels like you were walking away from something that was no longer giving you something productive. This 8 of Cups upright, so maybe some financial opportunity or financial situation for you isn't really helping you, or you're walking away from something that's no longer making you feel like you're worth $1 million, right? Or at least you couldn't self-care. It feels like you couldn't I'm trying to say self-care, but you couldn't not nurture yourself. You couldn't spoil yourself. There you go. You couldn't spoil yourself in this situation. The Queen of Pentacles reverse, I'm sorry. It's the same. It doesn't feel like you were feeling yourself like the true dynasty person that you could be, king or queen, the royal person you could be. It feels like something was wasting wasting your finances. Something was eating, maybe like something unexpected. And for some reason, it just feels like you're no longer going to be fearful of not having enough, maybe, because you feel like with the last 2 cards, it's interesting. It's like you're no longer You're no longer fearful, and you're willing to fight for something that belongs to you. You're willing to compete. You're willing to fight off unnecessarily people. So perhaps for some people that you were fighting off, just maybe, a financial opportunity, like a inheritance from your family. Like people were very combative, and or people were trying to take what's rightfully yours, taking advantage of that, and you were just walking away from that. Like it wasn't sufficient for you, like it wasn't helpful for you. For some reason, I feel like for some of you, it could be like that, where you could be fighting for land or finances, a inheritance that belongs to you or is supposed to belong to you, or at least some of it, something. Maybe not a lot, but it feels like people were getting greedy and you weren't getting your fair share. That's what it feels like. And you had to walk away from this, or you're walking away from this. It feels like that for some. I'm so sorry if that's the case, because it's unfortunate that people fight. People that you should feel like you should feel comfortable within your family, people you should trust and rely on, are sometimes very greedy, and they let that greediness take over, which kind of sucks. But you're learning to kind of find your own stability within. You're learning to find how to, maybe that's not what you want to hear, but you're learning to find the riches within you. It's like you have things and you have skill sets that could provide you monetary value. You just maybe aren't looking at them right away, but you will. You will notice them. You will take charge of that. You will know that there's a skill set. Maybe you like cooking. Maybe you like creating beauty within. Like maybe you like landscaping. It feels like you're someone that's going to pick up something that you were already naturally good at, and you're going to make something work, and it's going to give you the actual finances you need. It feels like you're someone that's going to walk into this because you already knew it. It feels like you're someone that's going to treasure it. You're going to keep it to yourself, and you're going to make it grow. It's going to grow, and you're going to keep investing in yourself. So you're investing in yourself. You're walking from something unfavorable that should have belonged to you. Maybe like if it wasn't like an inheritance from a family, it was a business opportunity, a career move, like moving up, and it was given to somebody else. It feels like you're something that was supposed to be meant for you was not meant for you, but you're walking into something even more beneficial, if that makes sense. But you're going to learn that there's a lot of competition, but you'll be good at it. You'll be really good at it. It's like you enjoy the competition, by the way. So it feels like you either had to fight off people, but you still have that competitive spirit, or you're being competitive and you're learning to be competitive and still have a good time. It feels like it doesn't always feel like you have to have a bad time feeling with competition, but it does feel like you're going to acknowledge that, and you're going to walk into a much more productive space of you're going to be investing in yourself and your skill sets, and it's going to provide you a long-term successful financial reward. So it does feel like maybe it's not something you want to hear, but it will take some time. Like I don't think it would take a long time. It's just that stubbornness in you. It feels like you're going to take some time to kind of acknowledge that this is a dead end. That's what it feels like. So you're acknowledging that this is a dead end, but you're finally moving forward. Pound number 3. It's just that stubbornness in you, but that stubbornness in you is what's going to get you to the place that you need to be. It's like you're going to invest in yourself once you get out of this space of like, this is a dead end. I'm not getting anything out of this. No one's investing in myself. This is not productive. This is not helpful. I'm above these people. I don't need to fight them anymore. I don't need to compete with them because there's nothing in there. And you're going to move on to a different type of green pasture that needs to be pasteurized. No, that doesn't need pasteurized. It needs to be, taken care of. It needs to be lawned and stuff. I said that terribly. But you're getting the gist of what I'm trying to say in that message. Pound number 3, it feels like you're someone that's going to walk into this fearless. It's like you had nothing and you have nothing to lose. But that's why you have everything to gain. It's like even if you feel like you've failed in something, that failure is still an experience. It's still something that's going to lift you up. It's like this was not in vain. This was experience. This is going to get me to be a very mature person, but a maturity in the sense of maturity with your finances, or maturity with trusting people and the right connections. It feels like you're finally going to make yourself feel self-sufficient by not relying on others, because you're putting your energy, your assets into yourself. You're investing into yourself, into a different opportunity that's going to be rewarding for the long run, but it's going to be a very different path from what you expected it to be. And it's going to be very competitive, and you're going to fight off a lot of people that might kind of try to not dismantle you, but what did I want to say? They kind of want to switch your opinion, or sway you. It feels like that, but you're fighting them off. Like you're fighting off that negativity, or you're fighting off the competition. You're going to strive, and you're going to be really good at what you are. Doesn't mean you're going to be the best, but it feels like you're going to be generally stable and generally good where you're going to be. So that's what I feel for you. Pound number 3, walk into this with open arms and don't be so stubborn, because there is a lot to learn from the unfortunate scenarios that you could encounter, right? So that's your spring prediction. You're going to be a much better person at the end of this journey that you kind of have this kind of thing going on. With your financial journey, I think you're going to be in a much better place. That's where I'm getting at. But, you know, it might be a very drastic turn from what you thought you were going to be doing. So don't let the fear of not trying for success or failure stop you from pursuing what you are meant to have rightfully in your life, which is stability. And stability that comes from within first and foremost. So acknowledge that it might be kind of like a solo kind of thing, or just something that you kind of have to do on your own, and not so much with people kind of giving you like a hand, like walking you through it. But you know, that's how you learn. That's how you're going to get yourself into having a lot of experience and where you're going to be at, you know, trial and error. It's kind of a thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Practice makes perfect. There you go. See? I practiced that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for sticking by till the very end. I appreciate it. And have a lovely day, everybody. Not every message was meant for you, just take what resonates. And I'll see you in a different video if you want to. And bye-bye, everybody.